Hot coffee, Blackie?
No, thanks, man. Oh, here it is. Joseph Kenyon, 46, of 1238 Pelham Road, met instant death when the car he was driving plunged over an embankment at Pinecrest Drive. The other occupant of the car, who refused to divulge his identity, escaped with minor injuries. Mr. Kenyon is survived by his wife, Helen.
You're pretty lucky, Blackie, to get out with just a sprained ankle.
Yes, I was. Now, I can't figure how Joe lost control of the car. It was cold sober, and he wasn't speeding.
Poor Helen.
Yes, bless him.
I better order some flowers.
Oh, yes. Have Pete make up something nice. How about white roses?
Fine.
It's very kind of you boys to be so considerate. You didn't have to bring me all the way over here.
Joe would want us to.
Frankly, I hardly know where to turn. Please sit down.
Thanks.
Don't know anyone who'd like to buy this business, do you?
Well, not offhand, Helen. Well, why do you want to sell out?
I don't know the first thing about running a detective agency.
Oh, all you need are a couple of good boys. Say, Runt, do you remember those two ex-GIs we met? The ones with military police experience?
Oh, yes. Say, they'd love this kind of work.
Sure. What was Joe working on, Helen? I mean, outside of that insurance deal he told me about.
What insurance deal?
Oh, some stolen jewelry. He was hot after some rocks that the police couldn't find.
Better let that one go for the time being.
Yeah. What else?
Well, there were those wealthy families whose valuables he watched during social functions.
Oh, sort of a guard, eh?
Sometimes he'd take me with him. What grand times we had. We were both so looking forward to the Carter affair. Oh, my goodness. The party the Carters are giving. It's tonight. Oh, well. I might as well call now and get it over with.
Now, look, Helen, let's not toss this one out the window before we give it a second look. After all you need is a watchdog, isn't it?
But on such short notice, Blackie. It's already late in the afternoon.
Well, why don't you let us pinch hit for you tonight?
That's awfully nice of you, but...
Then it's all settled. What sort of a party is it? Formal?
No, it's a costume affair. But I suppose lots of the guests will wear evening clothes.
Oh, fine. Did Joe ever use any disguises?
Yes, once in a while.
Where did he keep them?
In the closet there. But you shouldn't. I know your leg's still hurting.
Oh, it's nothing at all. Now, while you're phoning Mrs. Carter, Runt and I'll look over your ready-to-wear department. Oh, no, Runt, that's horrible.
No? Oh, look. Hey, this is for me.
No, this is for me.
Oh.
You find something else.
Well, here, you better take this hat. It goes with it.
Oh, gay.
Mrs. Carter, this is Helen Kenyon. Joe's wife? Yes. Oh, thank you very much. Well, that's what I called for. I'm thinking of continuing Joe's business. I've two good men. Very clever men. Oh, would you? That's awfully nice of you. Thank you ever so much. Goodbye.
How do we look?
I hope they fit.
Oh, I think they will.
It's perfectly all right with Mrs. Carter.
So I gathered.
She's a lovely lady. Maybe a little flighty, but really very sweet.
How do we get there, Helen?
Doris Bradley will take you.
Who?
Mrs. Carter's niece. She's a friend of mine. I'll call her now.
Good. Bradley, this is my assistant, Ahayaya.
Hiya, babe.
Where did you park the car?
Right down the street.
I think you both look terrific. The ladies will certainly adore you.
I hope so.
Well, thank you. Tell me about this party, Miss Bradley.
It's to celebrate my aunt's debut as a ballerina. She's going to do the woodland scene from Morlow's ballet, The Necklace.
A ballet dancer at her age?
That will do, Ahayaya.
She's really not taking it up seriously. It's just that Igor Borio is all the rage this season.
Igor who?
Borio, the famous ballet master.
Oh.
Haven't you heard of him?
No, I'm afraid we swim in a different pond.
Oh, by the way, no one is supposed to know except Auntie that you're detectives. She didn't even tell her husband.
Don't worry, we're not that proud of it.
Open the door, Ahayaya.
Sorry, Miss Bradley.
Thank you. Amdubal, an East Indian mystic, and his assistant, Ahayaya. My aunt and uncle, Mr. and Mrs. Carter.
Good evening.
Real mystics?
Oh, yes, indeed, Auntie.
How nice to meet two gentlemen who are not masquerading. I must introduce you to all the girls.
Of course.
You're sunk now, gentlemen. How about some refreshments, young lady?
Now, all you have to do is to wander about casually and watch things, especially this.
Yes, ma'am.
The most important thing is not to be obvious. I don't want my guests to know they're being watched.
We understand.
Girls, I want to introduce two charming gentlemen. I know you'll be fascinated. Mrs. Worthington and Mrs. Treadwell. Mystics, my dear. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must find Igor Borio. It's almost time for our performance. Can you look into the future?
Only if conditions are favorable.
Are they favorable now?
Well, with Pegasus out of the money in his last 5 stars, decidedly not, madam.
Will you excuse us, please?
Blackie, why do we always meet the old ones? Ah, women, how could we live without them?
You mean, how could you make a living without them? Women are funny creatures. They fall for anything with an air of mystery.
You speak, of course, with the profound wisdom of personal experience.
Excuse me.
You think he's wise to us?
No, he's allergic to beards. Say, Ron, see that girl talking to Carter?
Yeah?
Doesn't she look familiar to you?
She doesn't ring any bells for me.
She doesn't, huh? Lou.
How's your accent getting along?
Wonderful. By the way, who's the girl talking with your uncle?
Oh, that's Sandra Doré, Borio's assistant.
Oh, that Borio again. The way his name keeps popping up, he must be quite an institution.
He is. Oh, hello, Joan. This is Pandit Amdubar, Joan Howell, another of Borio's pupils. I was just about to tell him how much we all think of Igor. He's really quite charming. As a dancer, I mean.
And, as a man?
I wouldn't know about that. That's more in Joan's department.
If it's of any interest to you, Igor and I are no longer speaking.
Oh?
I wish you'd introduce me to this extraordinary gentleman.
He's changing into his costume for the dance.
If you'll be patient, I'm sure the ballet will start in a few minutes.
I can hardly wait.
If you'll excuse me, please.
But of course.
Don't mind Joan. We're old friends, but she's gone a little bit overboard for Borio, I think.
Jealous?
Of course not.
I see you prefer my type, huh?
Supper is being served inside, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh. Everybody goes.
Wasn't it too bad that necklace had to come off right in the middle of the dance?
She shouldn't have worn it in the first place. But you know how Claire carries on about these pearls once she takes them out of the bank vault.
Is the necklace so valuable it's necessary to keep it in the vault?
Well, I can assure you it's not called the Queen's Ransom for nothing. Each pearl is perfectly matched, and it's one of the most exquisite strings in existence.
Mason! Mason! Mason, these pearls, they're false! I noticed something was wrong when I opened the clasp. Then the string broke. When I gathered up the pearls, I saw immediately they were imitations. Oh!
Please, madame.
A glass of water, son, please.
You'd better phone the police.
Well, thank you very much.
This is your job. Why don't you take charge?
You see, Mrs. Carter doesn't want anyone to know that we're detectives.
That's right. We stand pat and check to her raise.
You wait just a minute. Are you sure you don't want the detectives to take charge?
Oh, no, dear. I don't want anyone to know that they're here.
I know, but after all, it's their job.
No.
Inspector Faraday will be right over.
At least we're innocent. Or are we?
Joan, I tell you, there was nothing to it.
Well, it certainly didn't look that way to me.
Please don't create a scene. Everybody will hear you.
I don't care who hears me. Everybody knows about it anyway. You're nothing but a contemptible flirt. That's what you are.
Shh, Joan.
Don't you dare shush me.
May I have your attention, please, everybody? Ladies and gentlemen, I hate doing this, but I'll have to ask everyone present to submit to a search. I've sent for a police matron to take care of the ladies, but so as not to lose time, we'll start with the gentlemen now. All right, now, if the ladies will please step to one side of the room, the gentlemen form a line up here. Come on. Let's go. Quickly, please. All right, Matthews, you take that end of the line. I'll start up here.
Finish playing with that vase, little man, I'd like to search you. Ain't it hot with that towel on your head?
Ow! You big flathead, why don't you watch where you're going?
That voice, I'd know it anywhere.
The runt.
And that's Boston Blackie. got out that way. All right, you search the house, Dugan. You and Matthews come with me. Turn on the lights for us outside, yes. All right, Matthews. You know who you're looking for?
Sure. The rotten Boston Blackie.
Remarkable. All right, get busy down in there. You go over in here.
Settle down, boys. Settle down. Not a sign of it, Chief. It's a dog.
Go phone headquarters. Have them send out an alert. Just a second.
This is my niece, Inspector. She just told me something I think you ought to know.
Inspector, I feel just like a criminal.
Oh, well, speak up, miss. Time's a-wasting.
Well, it's my fault. I brought them to the party.
Those two crooks?
But I didn't know. Mrs. Kenyon asked me to do it as a favor. She told me they were private detectives.
Obviously a clever scheme to rob us, Inspector. I told my wife 100 times to let me handle such matters.
Who's Mrs. Kenyon?
You know, the Kenyon Detective Agency.
Oh, Joe Kenyon, his wife?
Yes.
This is getting interesting. Miss, I'm afraid I'll have to take you down to headquarters for a deposition. Have Mrs. Kenyon picked up, too.
They're not anywhere out here, Chief.
Well, see if Dugan has found anything in the house.
Okay.
Well, I'll bet those two guys are miles away from here by now.
I'll have guards put around Blackie's apartment and the detective agency.
Brilliant idea, Bright Eyes. You think of that all by yourself? Look, why don't you try to be as smart as they are? Take one of your men and watch the girl's place. I'll bet they try to contact her again tonight.
You've got something there, Chief.
Oh.
Nice doggy. Yes, you're a nice little doggy. Yes, yes, you're a nice doggy. Now just be nice. Miller. No. You're a nice doggy. Nice. No, nice doggy. Nice doggy. No, nice. No, nice. No, nice doggy. Nice doggy. Nice doggy. Yes, you're such a nice doggy. Yes.
Come on, run. Let's get out of here.
He has my shoe.
You can run better without shoes. Come on.
There we are. Come, Mother.
What are the police doing here? Is something wrong?
Oh, no, sir. Just a precaution.
Oh, my goodness, you don't expect this place to be held up, do you?
Don't be alarmed, madam. It's just that one of the tenants has been involved in a robbery.
Really?
Bless me, I hardly think this is the proper atmosphere for our daughter. Do you, Mother?
No, I don't.
Clerk, tell Miss Bradley her parents are here, will you please?
Bradley? You don't mean Doris Bradley?
Well, we most certainly do it, if it's any of your business.
Well, she's the dame who's involved in the robbery.
What? Oh, my baby, my poor baby.
Steady, Mother, steady.
Oh, my poor little lamb. Oh, Father, this is terrible.
Now, madam, maybe it's not as bad as it seems. Could be she's innocent.
Well, bless me, this is awful. Where is our poor darling now?
Oh, we've got her down at headquarters right now.
In jail? Oh, dear, this is just dreadful.
Mother,
poor little Doris in jail, and we came all the way from Chicago just to surprise her.
I'll have her out in a jiffy. Now, don't you worry. I'll go her bail.
Well,
yes,
we've got to do something.
How do you go about it, Captain?
Let me phone headquarters and find out how she stands.
I'll get you a line.
Remember now, every cloud has a silver lining.
Yes, but sometimes it does rain.
This is Captain, Sergeant Matthews talking. Give me Inspector Faraday. Hello, Chief. What's the score? I mean, what's with Miss Bradley? Her folks are here all the way from Chicago, and the bad news kind of broke them up.
Tell them she's all right and we'll be home shortly. Hey, Matthews, when these touching but trivial details crop up, see if you can't handle them yourself, huh? Just for the practice. Oh, where was I? Oh, yes, Miss Bradley. I'm inclined to believe that you have no real tie-in with this case. My man just phoned to say that your folks were in town.
Mother and Dad? But they didn't tell me they were coming.
Please, this is the criminal division, not the domestic.
I know, but...
Take that up with your folks when you get home, and you'll get home sooner if you let me finish. I was about to say that we thank you for being so cooperative, and you are now free to go.
Now?
Yes, go on. Your case is a little different, Mrs. Kenyon. I'm sorry, but we'll have to hold you.
On what evidence?
You had 2 notorious thieves in your employ.
Oh, but you're wrong. They're honest men.
That's debatable. Anyway, you had no right to engage them without first registering them with us. Why were you so secretive about all this, Mrs. Kenyon?
Well, when Joe died, I...
Yes, I knew Joe. And out of respect for his memory, and because of the fact that you may be an innocent victim, I suggest you get legal counsel. Send in a matron, please.
I get a lawyer? What for?
I hope you'll forgive me, but I feel that what happened tonight goes much deeper than the disappearance of a necklace. We found evidence that your husband's car had been tampered with before he took that drive last Saturday.
You mean Joe was murdered?
The steering assembly of his car had been loosened and partly disconnected. Maybe Joe had learned too much. I'm sorry, but your association with Boston Blackie and the runt at this time looks mighty suspicious. Mrs. Kenyon is to be shown every consideration and is to be allowed to get in touch with her attorney.
Yes, sir.
Promise not to scream if I let you go?
Who are you?
Boston Blackie, but don't let that frighten you.
How dare you come up here? Haven't you caused me enough trouble already?
I'm very sorry, but we didn't steal the pearls.
I don't believe you. And if you don't get out right away, I'll call the police.
Well, now, you've got to be reasonable, Doris. If we had the pearls, do you think we'd have gone to all this trouble to contact you?
You're not kidding. This girdle is killing me.
I don't know what your game is, but I don't want any more to do with either one of you.
Now, I know we're on the spot and the finger points to us, but believe me, we're as innocent of all this as you are.
Well, I'd like to believe you, especially for Mrs. Kenyon's sake. She recommended you so highly, but... Just a minute. Who is it?
It's Joan. May I come in a moment?
I'm so glad the police didn't hold you. They had me scared for a while.
Henry told me at the desk your mother and father were here.
Oh, yes, it was quite a surprise.
Where are they?
They've just retired.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I wanted to meet them.
Well, Mother probably has her makeup off by now, and you know how it is.
If she's as nice as you are, darling, she wouldn't mind. At least you could ask her.
All right, I'll try. Mother, Dad, are you presentable?
Well, that all depends on who it is, sweetheart.
A girlfriend of mine, my next-door neighbor.
Oh, we'll be right in. Now, don't tell me. Let me guess. I'll just bet you're little Joni, aren't you?
That's
Well,
right.
of course. Doris told us all about you.
Oh, Doris, they're sweet.
Oh, and you're so sweet, too. Come here, dear. Oh, I just can't squeeze you enough. You're such a...
Mother is so emotional, you know. Yes. Let me take your wrap.
Oh, you needn't bother.
Do sit down.
Well, I can't stay very long.
Oh, well, that's quite all right. We'll just sit down and have a little chat.
Thank you. Doris, how did you ever get mixed up in this sordid robbery?
Doris has just been telling us all about it, yes. Gave us quite a shock.
Yes, I just know I should have never allowed my darling to come and live here alone. Why, I never realized the danger. Criminals, racketeers, why, goodness knows what.
Could this by any chance be the missing necklace?
Why, that's it. That's the Queen's ransom.
Why are you all looking at me like that? I'm no thief. I've no idea how it got in there.
Well, you must admit it's a rather unusual place to carry jewelry.
But it isn't even my wrap. I just borrowed it from a friend at the party tonight.
Oh, indeed.
Yes, Sandra DeRay loaned it to me because I felt chilly.
Well, then this solves the mystery. Apparently this Doré person stole the pearls.
Yes, but Mother, would they hide them in a wrap that she'd loaned to this young lady?
Oh, Father, I hardly think that would...
No, whoever put them in there thought that this Sandra person was wearing the wrap herself.
Wait a minute, I just remembered something. When Borio left the stage tonight during the dance to get the pearls, why couldn't he have substituted it then?
Dorio or Borio, who is he?
The dancer I told you about. Sandra's his assistant.
Oh, and you assume that he stole this necklace and then used this very clever means of getting it out of the house.
You're
eh?
all out of your mind. Borio couldn't have done it.
And why not?
Because he isn't a thief.
Now, let's face this honestly, Joan. What do you actually know about Borio? Except that he's handsome and charming and a beautiful dancer.
I know a lot about Borio. He's wonderful.
Well, it's quite obvious that you're in love with him and therefore no judge.
Now, Father, please.
Oh, what's the use? I guess I really don't know much more about him than you do.
Oh, now, come now, young lady. We're not definitely accusing your friend, although I must admit it does look pretty bad for him.
What are you going to do?
Nothing. It isn't my problem. No, it's up to the Carters to decide if they wish to press the charge.
Then you're not going to call the police?
Well, certainly not. Doris will return the pearls to her aunt. We'll take care of this, too.
All right. I'll never forget you for this.
One more thing. Not a word to anyone.
Not a word. Good night.
Good night.
Yes, Miss Bradley.
Never mind, thank you. Yes. Who are you calling?
My aunt, of course. Who else do you think?
We'll never catch the thieves that way.
I don't see that it's any concern of yours if they're caught or not. You're clear of all suspicion.
Well, that's just what you think, sister.
Yeah, the runner's right. You see, with our background, we're it. Unless the police get a confession from the real crooks.
And just how do you expect that to happen?
By using these for bait. As long as Sandra and her boyfriend think they're still in circulation, they'll make another grab for them.
Do you realize what a spot that puts Joan on?
Oh, Joan's perfectly safe here with all these cops around. Come on, Runt, let's get going.
Not with those, you don't.
I think she's right, Blackie. We're hot enough without them.
Well, all right, but we've got to get them out of here and into a safe place.
And where might that be?
Well, I'd suggest the Kenyon Agency.
But the police are watching there.
Now, don't worry about that. We have ways of getting around them.
Well, it's against my better judgment, but I guess I'll take a chance for your sake.
That's a good girl. In you go, Runt. Oh, stunning, isn't it?
Oh, but Blackie, the cops will know I didn't come in with this.
With Doris around, do you think the boys are going to notice an old hag like you? Now get your bonnet.
Well, I like that.
Can I help you?
Thank you. What do you want that for?
Well, you don't expect me to tell you all our trade secrets, do you?
Come on, let's get going.
That's where Joan lives.
Oh.
That's right. I'm giving you until tomorrow morning to get out of town. Then I shall tell the police everything I know. No. No, I don't love you, Igor. Please let me alone.
Joe Kenyon always used this back entrance to get to his office when he didn't want to be seen.
What did he have to be so secretive about?
I wouldn't know.
I hope you know what you're doing.
So do I.
Get the blinds, Ron. It's locked. After all, it's a safe. It should be.
Be kind of silly to crack it now, don't you think?
Yeah. Must be some other place. Well, what's the matter with that?
I guess that's as good a place as any.
As an extreme gesture of good faith.
Thank you.
Not at all. Runt, you know what you're supposed to do. Get going. I'll see Doris to a cab. Fine.
What do you want?
I have a package for you, miss.
At this time of night? What is it?
Well, that I wouldn't know.
Couldn't this have waited until the morning?
Well, I don't know, but the young lady that gave it to me told me it was awfully important.
What are you hanging around for? Breakfast?
Oh, no, ma'am. I just have to get your signature in this little book, if you don't mind, please. Thank you.
Hello? Yeah. Well, she didn't, huh? Well, thanks, Ron. No, you better come back here. Yeah, right.
Hello.
Hello, Sandra Doré?
Yes, who is it?
This is Boston Blackie.
Is that a fact? Who do you think you're kidding? What? What's that?
That's right, you heard me. I have those pearls, and I'm prepared to make a little deal with you.
Very funny, very funny. If that's your idea of a joke, you'd better have your brain examined. If you have any. Hello, Igor. Something very peculiar just happened and I'm frightened.
What? Boston Blackie? Do you believe he's got any idea we're in on this?
I don't know, but he might have recognized me at the party. No, I've never met him, but I do know that he was in Memphis during the time of my trial.
I hope you didn't let him think you were afraid of him.
Oh, no, I certainly didn't. But I just thought that he might try to intimidate you next, and I wanted you to be prepared.
Let him come ahead. I'm ready for him. No. Now go on back to sleep. Don't worry. Good night.
Good night.
Blackie. Yeah? Take a look at this. We're it again. The same as usual. And what burns me up, they've got Mrs. Kenyon in the cooler.
Well, this really unloads it on us. If we don't clear her, no one will. How did Sandra act when you gave her the coat?
She was as mad as a hornet. No dame expecting pearls could be that sore.
She pulled the same act with me on the phone.
She did?
Yeah, that's what throws me. She can't be that innocent. I can only remember where I've seen her before.
Well, you didn't meet her in no dancing school.
You're a great help.
All right, so I'm a great help. Say, by the way, what's on tap for tomorrow?
I'm going to pay a little visit to Mr. Borio. I want to find out where he stands.
Oh, you're going to try to make him say uncle, huh?
That's the general idea.
Uh-huh.
You know, I'm worried about transportation. We can't use our car.
Oh, that's right. It's hot. Say, what about Bill Morton's cab? You did a lot for him. I don't know why he can't play ball with us.
Good idea. See him first thing in the morning, will you?
Yeah, I will.
What have you got there?
Oh, it's a receipt book that came with his uniform.
That Joe thought of everything, didn't
he? Yeah. I thought Sandra's signature might give us a hint. Hey, take a look at this. Joe must have used this for a secret code or something.
L48R27L. This is no code, Runt.
No?
No. This is the combination of a safe.
I'm very sorry I didn't tell you all this sooner, but I wasn't sure about it myself. Now you know everything, and I'm glad of it.
Give me a line. I gotta call the inspector. Put Faraday on the wire and be quick about it. Sure, I know who I am. Oh, I forgot to tell you, this is Sergeant Matthews calling. Chief, I broke the case. Sure, I'm in my right mind. I got this chick right here to prove it. That's right. She gave the pearls to an old man who said he'd take care of them.
What? Where are they now?
The pearls?
No, the old man. Yeah, the pearls, I mean. Hold that babe right there. I'll be right over.
Good morning. A nice morning, isn't it? Could I speak to Mr. Borio, please?
I'm sorry, sir, but the master's not available for the moment.
Oh, dear. Could I speak with someone else? You see, I want to take some dancing lessons.
I'll let you talk to his assistant, Madame Doré. Have a seat, please.
Oh, you're very kind. And pretty, too. Madame Doré?
Yes?
Well, my name is McVale. Yes, it is. And I'd like to join one of your classes.
Don't you think you're a little old for that? We teach only the ballet.
Oh, yes, I'm quite aware of that, yes. But I think that dancing would... Well, you see, I'm like a bird in a cage. And I feel that dancing would release me. Don't you understand?
I'm not quite sure that I do.
Oh, well, I'm here on the advice of my physician, you know, yes. You see, I'm a businessman. I manufacture chains. And it's those very chains that have become a symbol of repression to me.
Would you care to come into the office? We could discuss it there more fully.
But of course. If I could be here with sympathetic fellow artists, I feel I would find a new interest in life. Yes. A sort of target of self-expression to shoot at, as it were. Oh, I do hope you understand.
I think I'm beginning to.
Good. Do you think the master will understand me, too?
Oh, I'm sure he will. I'll have you meet him just as soon as he's available. Do sit down.
Thank you.
Please go on.
Well, ever since I was that high, I've wanted to dance. Of course, my father was dead set against it. He insisted I take up football. I did. Strangely enough, I was rather good at it. Yes. Sports writers have praised my footwork. Said I was as graceful as a pixie.
Well, hello.
Miss Bradley. Take a look around. Now, will you repeat to this lady what you said downstairs?
Well, I just had to tell them the truth, Doris, that I found the pearls in my wrap last night and gave them to your dad for safekeeping.
Is that correct, Miss Bradley?
Well, yes.
And would you mind producing both the necklace and your father?
Well, he's at the hotel.
What hotel?
Hey, Chief. Them ain't the papa and mama I saw last night. Them ain't her folks.
So you tricked me, and I, like a fool, believed your silly lies.
I wouldn't say too much if I were you.
As I was saying, Miss Bradley, what hotel? I think you better get ready and come with me.
But they're innocent, officer. Believe me, they're innocent. All they want is a chance to prove it, and All I was doing was giving them that chance.
A chance to walk off with the necklace as nice as you please, is that what you mean?
No, honestly, I know where the pearls are.
You do?
Yes.
You don't say. Where are they?
If I take you there, will you drop your case against Blackie?
Well, I can't make you such a promise, but I'll tell you what I will do. You produce that necklace, and I'll give him every break.
All right, then I'll be ready in a minute.
Brother, am I dumb. Them folks of hers last night must have been Blackie and the Runt.
That's my boy. Tell me more.
They come in here with them get-ups on and fool everybody. They even fooled her, their own daughter. No, that can't be right. But I...
Oh, shut up.
Strange, with all these photographs, there's not one here of you. And you're so striking, too.
Thanks, but I'm not a professional. All those pictures are of the master himself and some of his pupils.
Oh, well then just what do you do around here?
I just look after the business. His class should be over now. I'll see if he's available.
Good.
Character in your office who acts like a lunatic. He says he wants to be a dancer, but it could be a stool pigeon.
For the police?
No, for Boston Blackie.
Oh, there you go again. That's all I've heard since last night. Boston Blackie, Boston Blackie.
If you knew as much about him as I do, you wouldn't pass this up so lightly.
All right. Have it your way. I'll see the man and find out what he's after.
Fine, but be careful. If he tries anything funny, ring me and I'll phone the police.
All right.
Igor Borio.
Yes?
Did the lady explain why I'm here?
Yes, indeed. But there's certain things that I must know before I can enroll you. Won't you sit down, please, Mr.
McVale, Douglas McVale. Thank you.
Suppose you tell me a few things about yourself, Mr. McVale.
Well, ever since I was that high, I've wanted to dance. Of course, my father was dead set against it. I tried everything. Stamp collecting, raising pigeons. I even tried to recapture my childhood by playing hopscotch. But nothing did any good, no. Only the dance is left. And so I place my fate in your hands.
Very interesting. Is that all?
Well, I should think that would be quite enough.
I quite agree. And now, Mr. McVale, would you mind telling me what you're really after?
Well, now that you caught on so quickly, I might as well admit it. I'm an insurance adjuster. I work for the Vita Life Indemnity Company.
You certainly have a strange approach. I'm sorry we can't do any business. I already have more insurance than I can carry.
You don't understand. I'm an investigator.
Investigator?
That's right. My information leads me to believe that you're vitally interested in the Carter necklace.
I fail to see what those pearls have to do with me.
Let's come to the point. Maybe I'm stepping a little out of character, but in this case, I don't represent the insurance company, but the man who actually has the pearls.
Indeed.
Yes. Unfortunately, he can't dispose of them at the moment because he's too hot. So he figured you as a likely customer.
I'm flattered.
Yes. We thought you'd appreciate the opportunity.
And who is this gentleman that you're representing?
Well, he prefers to remain anonymous. There's no need of burdening you with that information.
He's most considerate.
Now, if you wish to make a deal, my client will settle for the ridiculously low figure of, say $50,000.
That's rather steep, isn't it?
Then you are willing to bargain.
Could be. But I suggest we wait before talking terms. The police will be here at any moment. And I'm sure they'll make very good witnesses.
Well, in that case, maybe I'd better be running along.
Stay right where you are.
Is this what you're looking for? That's right, it's yours.
Just a moment. I was only joking about the police. I'm really extremely interested in those pearls. Won't you sit down again?
I'm sorry, I can't take that chance. I'll see you later.
I don't understand it. I put them there myself.
Mm-hmm. Maybe this will clarify matters for you.
So everything points to Igor, does it? I like your nerve, and all the time you're covering up for a crooked boyfriend of your own. Why, you...
Just a minute. I don't know how deeply you're involved in this thing, Miss Bradley, but I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll give you a little room all by yourself where you can relax and figure out how Boston Blackie took advantage of your naivety. If you're not familiar with that word, Matthews, the approximate meaning is stupidity. I'll have accommodations for you, too. I don't like the way you figure into this thing, either. Come on.
What did you find at Sanders' place?
Well, here.
Oh, from the Memphis Star, huh? $70,000 jewel robbery, Borden's robbed and daring holdup. The showgirl, who gave her name as Marge O'Reilly, appeared today on the charge of being a go-between for the thieves, an offense named Louis Garrick. Marge O'Reilly. Marge? I've got her now, Runt. She was a blonde then, acquitted for lack of evidence.
Oh, yeah, but that was quite some time ago.
Yeah.
Well, the leopard never changes his spots. O'Reilly, Doré, what's in the name?
Offense named Louis Garrick.
Well, you know who that is. He was known as Lonely Louis to the trade. I heard he was out on parole, and he's operating right here in town.
Are you sure?
Why, sure, I'm sure.
You think we could have a little talk with him?
Well, I don't know why not. A couple of phone calls to the right parties. I think we can find out where he's working or hangs out.
Let's go.
I say, do you suppose he could be mixed up in this missing hot stuff that Kenyon was working on?
Could be.
And Sandra, the go-between?
Could be.
Uh-huh.
Yes? Send them in.
I got it, Chief. I got an angle. Them three women were working in cahoots.
Matthews, your angles are so old that every time you open your mouth, moths fly out. Mr. Carter, glad to see you. Have a seat.
Mr. Dunn, my attorney.
I know, Mr. Dunn.
The inspector and I are old friends. We play poker every Monday night.
Now, let's skip the social niceties. What, if anything, has been done about my wife's necklace?
We're doing
everything we possibly can. I know, like arresting 3 innocent women.
Innocent?
There's a question of insufficient evidence, Inspector.
No evidence, you mean? It's downright stupidity to think that any one of these 3 women is a thief. Go on and tell them, Dunn.
According to the statute, in regard to the detaining of a witness...
Correct. We're here to arrange bail for my niece. She's a sensitive young woman, and all this is very humiliating. And while we're here, we might as well post bail for Joan and that Mrs. Kenyon. Purely as a protest, you know. Purely in the interest of justice.
Very generous of you.
I understand they're coming up for a hearing this afternoon before Judge Holliday.
That's right, Counselor.
Oh, get back on the track, Inspector. This way, you're only wasting the taxpayers' money. Come along, Dunn.
I'll see you Monday night.
Yes.
Matthews, there goes one of the smartest lawyers in this town.
What do you mean, smart? It was Carter who did all the gibble-gabble.
Is that bad? Look, a man is only as smart as the people he surrounds himself with. Now, you take me, huh? Never mind. In the dull, blank expanse of your face, I can read the dismal promise of the years to come.
Hello, Louis.
Hi.
Didn't waste much time, did you?
I told you we'd be right over.
Mm-hmm. What's on your mind? You didn't say much over the phone.
Well, I've been kind of interested in pearls the last couple of days.
Huh?
Stay right there, boy. You're not very polite to keep a lady waiting.
You see, my hunch about her was right.
Search him, Louis.
Right here, Louis.
Just the usual stuff, not what we was figuring on.
Of course not. We're on the beam. We knew our phone call to Louis would bring you a running.
Still up to your old tricks, eh, Blackie?
Stay with us, Blackie. What's so funny?
Well, I was just thinking about your boyfriend. How burned up he must have been when he found out Joan was wearing your wrap last night.
Yeah, lucky for us we got our hands on it before you did. Or was it?
Stop the small talk and come to the point.
Okay. Tell your partner that the price is still the same. 50,000 COD.
Ridiculous. Where do you think I'd get that kind of money?
Well, I wouldn't know. But if you don't buy, there are others who will. Oh, come on, Rudd. We're wasting our time.
Wait a minute.
What?
Give me at least a chance to raise the money.
Shall we?
Well, you know my motto. Ladies always first.
Then, shall we meet here again in a couple of hours?
Well, we'll arrange the time and the place when you get the money. I'll phone you at your apartment in an hour.
Okay.
Enjoying your parole, Louis?
Oh, so-so. A dollar don't go very far these days.
Oh, how right you are.
Nice guys. Hey, you know, when I was in stir, I heard they was going straight. Isn't it terrible, the vicious gossip you hear about people?
Inspector Faraday's office, please.
You're crazy if you think she'll show up at that place.
I'll bet you the bottom pearl of that necklace she will. Hello?
Yeah, Faraday speaking. What? Just a second. Trace the call on my phone. Yeah, Blackie, what can I do for you?
You needn't bother tracing the call. I'm at Schaefer's drugstore, 4th and Commonwealth. Now listen, Inspector, if you're interested in recovering those pearls, you'll be at the Summer Lane Memorial Park near the Hill Street entrance tonight at 11:05. You got that?
Summer Lane, Hill Street entrance, 11:05. Thank you ever so much, Blackie. Oh, Blackie. Matthews!
Hello? Yes, Blackie. I've got it all arranged. Now, where do we meet? No, not there, please. No, I'm not trying to back out. All right. I'll meet you there, right on the dot.
Give me a cigarette, will you, man? It's a branch trembling in the wind.
Can you blame it?
Will you let go? Give me a match, will you?
Huh? Oh, yeah.
Oh, stop it.
Blackie, I just saw something dressed in black and it was gliding.
Will you stop imagining things? Now, pull yourself together.
I know, but why did you have to pick a place like this for?
Very simple, because no woman would come to a place like this alone.
Oh, no? Well, there she comes. And she's alone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Did you bring the money?
Let's see the pearls first.
No. Money first.
Just a moment. Kindly hand over my pearls. Where are they?
In Mrs. Kenyon's safe.
Oh, you'll have to do better than that.
No, I'm on the level. I'd take you there myself, only circumstances that...
That'll do, lady. Get after him.
You got here just a little too late, Inspector.
Mason Carter, what are you doing here? Then who are you popping away at, lady?
I suppose this is what we get for playing detective.
Yeah, and after I had Blackie all set to hand the stuff over, you came along and spoiled everything.
You mean he also asked you to meet him here?
Well, of course, otherwise I wouldn't have come.
Well, that's strange.
Strange isn't the word for it. But I gave up a long time ago trying to figure out what's in Blackie's mind. Well, it's a cinch we won't catch him tonight. Might as well go on home. No use hanging around here before your time.
Well, good night, Inspector. I'll know better next time, I promise you.
Good night.
Night.
Matthews? Matthews!
Are you sure that this is the right thing to do?
Sure. Our only out is to tell Faraday the truth and hand him over the pearls and hope for the best. The important thing is to clear Mrs. Kenyon.
Watchdogs. I wonder what's up.
Turn on the light, Sandra. Get over to the desk. You too.
You can really punch, Carter.
Yes, Sandra. Police headquarters, please. Inspector Faraday, please. Oh, I'm sorry. I've lost all track of time, but this is very important. This is Mason Carter speaking. Will you please give me his home phone number? Oh, thanks. I'll call him there.
Wrong number. I'd like to punch you in the nose for calling a wrong number at this time of night. What? Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Carter. Go ahead, I'm listening.
I've got Blackie here dead to rights. Caught him trying to blast Kenyon's safe. Yes, he's with him. Well, never mind that now. I'll explain everything when you get here. But please hurry.
I'm on my way.
You're crazy, Carter. You'll never get away with this.
Who do you think they'll believe, you or me?
Matthews, get out of that bed. I'm picking you up in 10 minutes. Huh? What do I care whether you wear a tie or not? So you caught him right in the act, Mr. Carter. Good work.
Now, wait a minute, Faraday. You're pinching the wrong people. They're the ones you want.
I've got to admire, Blackie. You always were a cool one.
But I tell you, I caught him cracking the safe.
That's rich. What do you suppose he was after? Postage stamps?
Ha! Very funny. Now, don't be a complete idiot. Why don't you open the safe and get the pearls?
The pearls, he says.
All right, enough of this. The pearls are in the safe, all right, Blackie, but not this one. They're at headquarters. When I came back from that wild goose chase you sent me on, Mrs. Kenyon was waiting for me. She'd found the necklace where you two crooks had hidden it.
All right, then answer me this.
Why would I go to all the trouble of cracking that safe when I have the combination of it right here in my pocket?
Stay right where you are. Stop, Connors! Stop!
Gosh, I never thought it was him. He had such a kind face.
Well, so have you, but I wouldn't trust you around the corner.
Thanks. Fifth race, 20 to win. Pegasus. Why, it's you, Chief. Excuse me.
Hello, Inspector.
Well, folks, Margie O'Reilly, alias Sandra DeRay, has turned state's evidence and cleared Borio of all suspicion. She gave us the whole scoop about herself and Louis the Fence, and my men are picking him up now.
Well, that's very interesting. How did Carter figure in the setup?
And why would a rich guy like that want to steal?
That's the point. He wasn't rich. He married for money, but his wife would never give him any. So when Sandra came along, she had no trouble talking him into becoming the entree for her mob into the homes of wealthy people.
Well, now I know what Joe meant when he said, just wait till I break that case. It'll rock the foundation of society.
Well, of course. Speaking of Joe, Sandra also admitted it was Carter who tampered with your husband's car. He must have found out Joe was onto him.
I'm sorry, Helen.
The thing that I can't figure out is how could Carter pull a switch on that necklace when he was nowhere near his wife when she dropped him?
That's right, son. He did the job before the party started. Thought he could blow town without his wife finding out about it. You see, this was to be his and Sandra's last haul. And incidentally, you boys should get a nice bonus from the insurance company.
Oh, not us. That money belongs to Helen.
Oh, no, I couldn't.
Well, after all, Joe did all the spade work. Come on, Run, I'm late.
What's your hurry?
I'm best man at a wedding.
Whose wedding?
Jones and Borio's. Mrs. Kenyon will tell you all about it. So long, Inspector.
So long, fellas.
By the way, Faraday, if you're ever in trouble again, give us a buzz.